Welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Junior Garcia, and here are some of the stories we have for you tonight. Governor attends Economic Development Summit. Senate favors hemp cultivation, and more summer basketball highlights. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8.
News Channel 8 is brought to you by Omega XL. Experience Larry King's breakthrough secret to joint pain relief, Omega XL. To order or find out more information, call 1-800-298-1647 or check us out at asseenonchanel8.com.
In tonight's top story, Governor John D. Young Jr. recently spoke at a compliance summit hosted by the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority. There, he praised staffers and beneficiaries for working in the best interest of the territory.
76 beneficiaries that train, that invest. 76 beneficiaries that support 349 eligible suppliers throughout our community that make investments in terms of local purchases from a low of 15 million to a high of 125 million. Indicates the economy and the social needs that we have that we can further by looking at the linkages. And they fit within the traditional areas of resorts, hotels, construction-related activity, and going towards the knowledge-based. Asset management, information technology, business consulting, management consulting, and at the same time, IT. It's evenly split between the districts, between St. Thomas and St. Croix, with a slight above on St. Thomas only because of the hotels. But when you begin to look at the new economy and the companies that are coming in, you're beginning to see this organization change where St. Croix is broadening in terms of picking up for the loss of Hovensa by broadening the base with respect to those employment opportunities. So that's why for the last several years, we've tried to do several things to make sure that we protect the EDC program, that we protect the base of it, and at the same time look for its growth. That's why we fought on the statute of limitations to make sure that that is preserved in whatever way necessary so that the U.S. Treasury respects that. That's why we pushed on residency issues at Treasury and at IRS. That's why we filed 8 cases with the tax court to be able to protect taxpayers within the U.S. Virgin Islands. And right now we're in the middle of negotiating with the U.S. Treasury to broaden the income categories that could be determined to be USVI source income so that we can broaden those companies that we want to attract to the Virgin Islands. In my opinion, the growth of the Virgin Islands depends in so many ways, particularly in the near term, on the growth of our economic development program, on the RT Park program, research and technology, with the currently 8 companies that it has and the growth that they will have as we go forward. The combination of the RT Park and the Economic Development Commission, I believe, represent the potential that will allow us to grow and at the same time transform both our workforce and also lead to the revenues that we need through employment and also small business creation. So the compliance that you do becomes important, not just in terms of meeting the needs of our community, but it becomes important in making sure that we can show both to our community and legislators, but also to the federal government, that the investment that you're making and the return that we're getting far exceed and the benefits to our community are well worth it. So the compliance program today is one where we're able to validate both our relationship to each other. We give you something, and you at the same time provide us with a tremendous benefit to our community, but it also provides us the way to broaden our community so that we can achieve the economic development that is necessary.
In other news, WAPA board members have given the green light for an extra $70,877 for repairs of a damaged fuel dock in St. Thomas. Channel 8's Alexis Barnes has the story.
In July, WAPA board members approved a $396,495 contract with Promar Services to allow for scheduled fuel dock repairs. The dock was damaged by a vessel delivering fuel to the Randolph-Harley power plant, and WAPA has said the dock sustained damage to the south breasting dolphin, resulting in both lateral and vertical displacement of the concrete cap. According to WAPA, the resulting damage included cracking of the concrete cap at several faces, pulling of the front tension piles out of the concrete cap, and the breaking off of some of the bottom surface of the caps surrounding the tension piles into the water. WAPA Executive Director Hugo Hodge Jr. said an investigation is ongoing into what exactly happened and who was responsible. He added the importance is getting the repairs done as soon as possible so fuel deliveries can continue to St. Thomas.
Thanks, Alexis. And new tonight, yesterday's Senate committee meeting showed an overwhelming support for the growing of hemp in the territory. However, there were still concerns expressed about legalizing the herb.
There are places, as I have stated, that there are experimental sites that are going on. Some states are doing it. But, as I stated in my testimony, the DEA has not issued a commercial license to date as of June 2014. And to that fact, there has been no domestic production in terms of commercial. So all the hemp that's being produced, that's being manufactured, is actually imported. And one of the reasons why DEA has not licenses, and I was hoping that, that the Commissioner of Police would actually say that, is that according to the record I have, is obtaining a DEA permit to produce hemp requires that the applicant demonstrate that an effective security protocol will be in place at the production site, such as security fencing around the planting area, a 24-hour monitoring system, controlled access, and the possibility of armed guards to prevent public access. For this reason, it actually increases the cost of actually producing commercial hemp. So this is the reason why it's actually an added cost to it, which is why we actually import a lot of it going forward. This is the DEA's requirements to get a permit. As was stated in the Agriculture Act of 2014, which is the Farm Bill, they're attempting to amend that to relax that. But as this present moment, that is the rule. So if there's any production that's going on, the DEA has the authority to either arrest or confiscate that product.
Okay.
My understanding of looking at the landscape of St. Croix in particular, and St. John and St. Thomas as well, is that that we have lots of opportunity. We've got thousands of acres that are available for production, and whether that production would be in guinea grass or king grass or hemp, we have the opportunity to do that in lands that are currently unproductive and yet not in any way valuable from a cultural, historical, or ecological standpoint.
For experimental, other things, there are states and there are places that in the U.S. that do experiment with industrial hemp. But as I want to clarify, in terms of commercial, wide-scale, industrial, commercial, there has not been.
So Kentucky can't. Sorry. So Kentucky can import.
The permit was to allow them to import hemp seeds in order to do experiments. So they actually do have a permit.
As opposed to the territory, through the Department of Agriculture, of course, seeking individuals to obtain DEA approval. I think it would be wiser for the territory, as Kentucky is trying to establish here, and as Colorado has done by permitting the legal growth even as a state, that we do it as a whole, that we approach it as a territory and not as an individual. Meaning, just as Colorado has written bills and laws to allow the legal growth of hemp for industrial use, that in itself blankets their states with taking it to another level. Now the DEA has approved this, is to approve the state, not the individuals.
Stay with us. We have more news straight ahead.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Welcome back to News Channel 8. Now, has your air travel within the Caribbean been less than an enjoyable experience? Well, one airline CEO has some ideas on how to fix it. Here is Cynthia Graham with those details and more in your nightly Caribbean report.
Thank you, Junior. The European Commission will provide over $4 million in funding for for the Airport Communication Project, or AirCop, in an effort to counter organized crime and drug trafficking at participating airports in the Caribbean and around the world. AirCop's purpose is to strengthen detection and intelligence capacities in several countries in Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean. An official closely associated with the program said it is important to continue efforts to, quote, counter drug trafficking and protect people in countries where illicit products are produced and transported, end of quote. Currently, the Dominican Republic and Panama are the only two countries within the region that participate in the program. In other travel-related news, the CEO of regional carrier Liat is offering 6 ways that air travel can be improved upon across the Caribbean. In an opinion piece printed in the Caribbean Journal online news magazine, David Evans said the current state of air transportation within the Caribbean can only be characterized as a failure. He said this failure stems from economic adversity, sparse populations, and a reluctance to work together toward a common goal, among other roadblocks. In order to fix the problem, 2 of the 6 steps Mr. Evans has proposed include government ownership of airlines and the removal of tax on children traveling by air. At the end of his passionate article, Mr. Evans stated, "These 6 steps may fall some way short of the dream of a single Caribbean airline and will require time, effort, political will, but it would be heartening to see a start along the journey." And to see the entire list of suggestions, visit the Channel 8 Facebook page and let us know if you agree with Mr. Evans' report. And finally tonight, sports tourism is the hot new thing that Barbados tourism officials are using to position the island. Acknowledging that the tendency was to appeal to tourists in the older demographic and project Barbados as a leisure destination, Richard Seeley, the country's Minister of Tourism and International Transport, said that much had been done to change that concept through the development of niche areas such as sports tourism. Seeley said sports tourism is active in Barbados, with over 60 sports being played on the island. Traditionally, cricket, golf, team hockey, and Masters football have worked well, but we are also talking to some of the other sporting disciplines. So I think sports tourism fusion is huge and would obviously appeal to a younger demographic, he concluded. This has been tonight's Caribbean Report. I'm Cynthia Graham. We'll be back here tomorrow to bring you more news and views from in and around the Caribbean. Back to you, Junior.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Moving along, St. John is in the market for the construction of a new school on the island. A second planning meeting was recently held to update residents on the government's plans, where architects revealed that a recent archaeological survey conducted on the proposed site in Estate Catherinesburg confirmed that a school can indeed be built there without entering or interfering with the Eastern's most historical findings on the property. We'll bring you more on that story as soon as construction plans progress. Stay tuned, we have more news right after this.
This newscast has been sponsored by Mario's Virgin Crystal. Let us save you the hassle of lugging those jugs around. Purified bottled water conveniently delivered to your home or office. Also available in your favorite grocery store. Call 773-2810.
This is News Channel 8. This is News Channel 8.
Finally tonight, the summer keeps on sizzling with the men's basketball action on St. Croix. Here is Stephen Koo-Francis with your Sports 411 update.
Thanks a lot, Junior. Last night we had Game 1 of the MBBA Championship Series between Hoyas and Guidance. Let's pick up the action in the fourth quarter. What a finish we had. Hoyas led 69-58. That's when Stephon Adams, young Zabba, just took over. Here he goes, coast to coast, taking all the Hoyas defenders and finished with the kiss off the glass. Warren Christian, He answered right back with a 3-ball side packet. But here comes guidance. That young man named Zaba. He stops on a dime and buries the 3-ball, leaving his dad, Melvin Adams, just speechless. Folks, his dad is torn between him and his old team, Hoyas. I know you're a diehard Hoyas fan, and your son is playing with guidance. So, who are you really rooting for, man?
Well, Hoyas, as usual, as a diehard fan, that's my son playing with guidance, that's his choice.
Okay.
So if he won that championship, he got to work hard because that's the 5-time defending champs. He have to work hard to get that one.
Well, young Adams was playing like a man on a mission. He drains another 3-ball. Wow. Folks, later he takes it in amongst the trees. The layup is no good, but his teammate Radel Dennis is there to clean up the miss. No, he didn't get it on the first attempt, but yes, on the second try. That's what you call the tip drill. The tip drill. Then Adams, just call him the bus driver, as he takes 3 Hoyas to school. That ain't right. That ain't right. As guidance was just down by 2, 72 to 70. Hoyas caught guidance napping as Eddie Castillo cashed in on an easy deuce. Adams, he does it all, folks. Here he shares the rock, who finds a wide open Sugar Shane for the jump shot. Later, guidance down to Adams with the cookies. He goes the other way, stop, and drops the go-ahead 3-pointer. Folks, this guy is nice. Naibo Gonzalez, he then steals the inbound pass and scores, as guidance was now up by 3, 77 to 74 with 3:35 remaining in the game. Well, after a Hoyas timeout, they find a wide open Christian in the corner for 3, just like how Coach Sammy drew it up. Folks, game tie 77 all. Sugar Shane, he gives back guidance the lead with this shot. Later, Castillo lobs it into Kurt John, who was fouled. He joins both free throws, tying up the game with 1:42 remaining. Later, Carl John unties the game with the finger roll with 34 seconds remaining. Folks, then Adams, he then beats 1, 2, 3, 4 Hoyas defenders, draws the foul, nearly gets the 3-point play. Folks, he went to the line and made both free throws, where we had a tie game at 81 all with 20 seconds remaining. Folks, Hoyas didn't call a timeout and catches an over-aggressive guidance team out of position as John finds Christian for the easy go-ahead score. Folks, with less than 10 seconds remaining, well, after a guidance timeout, let's see what Coach Bow drew up. Adams inbounds the ball to Dennis. Dennis is in trouble. He passes just before he steps out of bounds to Sugar Shane for the win. Oh, no, 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 no. As Hoyas held on to win game 1, 83 to 81. Warren Christian led the way for Hoyas with 31 points. For guidance, Stefan Adams, he had 33 points. After the game, I spoke to both head coaches.
It was a good win. I mean, kind of fault and turnover. The defense I came up playing wrong, which is man-to-man. And I had to, they were beating me off the man-to-man. So I called off the man-to-man and went to the regular zone, which gave them a little problem. But then the next time we started to turn over the ball, which wasn't taking good care of the ball. But it was a good game. We did what we had to do, close out. 2 teams are even, so they pop a fight, take the lead, we take back the lead. They take the lead, we take back the lead. It was a good game.
First game of the championship series, you guys lost a close one. Talk about what happened down the stretch and if any game plan changes for second game.
Well, we don't have much option with game plan. We have a small rotation, but you know, it was an excellent game. Just whoever executed the best. But I think Hoyas, the veteranship and the experience that they had, they were a little more to the ball than us. They were more aggressive to the ball. They got all the loose balls them, and they dominated us on the rebound. I didn't keep the stats, but it would have been something really overwhelming or one-sided. But nonetheless, we still had options to win. We dropped off in the beginning of the fourth quarter. We had a hefty lead, and that's due to inexperience. We had a young group. Sometimes you just have to play, how they say, control offense as opposed to shooting one and done. And that's the only way that team could have got back, and they got back. So kudos to Hoyas. They got back the way they should as veterans, but we had options, so we'll see the next game.
Well, folks, the action continue on Wednesday. Make sure you head on out to the Tim Duncan Gymnasium over there at the Ed Complex and show your support. That's a look at your Sports 411 update. I'm Stephen Crew Francis from News Channel 8. Back to you, Junior.
Thanks, Koof. Talk about hot. Stay with us. You have your weather coming up next.
Your weather coming up next. Your weather.
And here's a look at your local weather.
Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low around 74 degrees. On Wednesday, expect isolated showers before noon and widespread haze after noon. Sunny with a high near 82 degrees. On Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 74. On Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near 82. Chance of rain is a low 20%. On Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 77 degrees. Isolated showers on Friday, sunny with a high near 81 and a low of 79. Isolated showers at night, but mostly clear. On Saturday, expect scattered showers and thunderstorms, then partly sunny with a high near 81 degrees, a 50% chance of rain in the morning and in the night. On Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 79 degrees. This has been Alexis Barnes with your Channel 8 News Weather.
Thank you very much for tuning in. That's all we have for local news. Do not forget to like us on Facebook at WSVI-CHA. Also, follow us on Twitter at WSVI-TV News. And be sure to subscribe to Channel 8 on your YouTube at WSVI-TV News Channel 8. Watch us on your computer, plus use the free Dish Anywhere app to DVR us or see us anywhere in the world on your smartphone or tablet. I'm Junior Garcia, and World News is up next. Good night, Virgin Islands.
News Channel 8 is brought to you by Omega XL. Experience Larry King's breakthrough secret to joint pain relief, Omega XL. To order or find out more information, call 1-800-298-1647 or check us out at asseenonchanel8.com.